with the NPP, not in leadership, not in style, not in even when it comes to changing the lives of the people of Nyamena. So I think all of that, I don't buy any of those. Yeah.
So we are saying that the Council of Elders in Nyamena are shifting their allegiance from the GDC to the NPP.
Yeah.
But again, the National Assembly member for Nyamena East, Omar Sise, has actually accused President Barrow of, forming a delegation of, CFOs and alkalolus to go and actually try to convince the people of Nyamena to vote for the NPP candidate. Is there any truth to that?
The point is we have to put record straight. Gambians, any individual, nobody can do. We all need to enjoy our franchise. You can never disenfranchise anyone. It's at their own personal accord. Anybody who entered in Nyamena, being minister, being anybody else, I haven't seen any CFO abdicating their duty going there. Maybe it could be Nyamena CFO. It could be. But I just want to make things clear. Either you are a CFO, you are a minister, you are this and that. As far as you have right, and you are not barred by the constitutions, like you are not from a core of the civil service, like civil servants, who cannot stand in the podium and talk and openly campaign. But they also have their right to vote or to have express their feelings. But
the first thing, the president made clear in 2016 was telling the chiefs and the alcalos that they should desist from partisan or local politics as Jammeh used to do during his time. So how do you shift from that to forming delegations of chiefs and alcalos to try to push your agenda?
Very good point. I'm not shifting. I wanted to elaborate on what you've already said. We are not compelling. The president is not compelling. He's not forcing anybody, any chief, even these ministers that you see in the ground. We never force anybody. The president never forced anyone to go there and campaign for him. But it's in their own personal accord. They feel it like, yes, I'm a citizen and I can do it. And before, it might be the narrative is different from what has been happening, whereby it is like I do or die for them. They will tell, look, I need this seat, I need this thing, I need this thing. So even the CFO will come to you and tell you, okay, this seat is like a bail bond on my head or on my position. If I lose this seat, then I will lose my position. So help. No. The case is very different. Anybody who is there, you are there based on your own personal accord. Nobody is forcing you, and you can decide to shy away from it. You can decide to not to be there. And nobody, the president does not even. Sometimes he's not even aware of, some people being in the ground. He's not aware of it. So the point is like, president maintain his position. He is not compelling or forcing anybody, minister or CFO or governor or any other person, to go to any of the campaign venue. He's not forcing them. But for instance, if you ask them, they'll tell you, yes, I am a Gambian and I also enjoy the same right to be in the ground or to be this and that. So who will force you to stop it? Nobody. You have your right to do so. Except if the law bars you to do that. For example, you are from the civil service corps, then you are doing it openly, then the GO will punish you and you will be punished accordingly. But I think as far as you are not at that category, you are free to exercise your franchise.
Now, we've seen a lot of government officials, ministers in particular, flock to Nyamena to campaign for the NPP candidate. Now, they have come under criticism, under fire, Gambians saying that this is not right. You should not be there trying to campaign or trying to involve yourself in partisan politics because you're government officials. You focus on your job. What do you have to say to those Gambians?
Yeah, particularly, I just want to clarify this. Just say it like our opponents. Our opponents are saying, those who are cry foul. They are our opponents, But we all, this is not like something that has started today. Even since the advent of this new dispensation, we've seen ministers campaigning for their party. That happened. All right? But I am not making that point as a justification to this instant. Ministers, what I want to say to everybody, ministers are politicians. They are political appointees. All right? From day one of your appointment, you are a politician. And they are ready to do politics. There is no clause in any of our constitution that bar them from exercising, their political rights. It's never there. All right? So that's why you see the ministers are also always taking part in political rallies, political meetings. They are even jumping into podiums and, talking, convincing people to support party A or B. So we are not supporting any of the ministers. If they want to support Mama Kandeh and Gile, they can go and just be. We are not supporting, compelling on any of them, and we are not supporting any of them. But people cannot say that they should not do it. On what basis? What is their ground? Is it constitutionally, or based on the moral, or based on their own opinion? That should be clear.
Amadou, I would like to get your opinion on this, because you are youth, and one person who has been appointed newly is the Youth and Sports Minister, Bakary Badji. Now, it seemed like him being on the ground trying to campaign for the NPP doesn't sit well with some of the people. They're saying you should be prioritizing other things. You should be familiarizing yourself, on issues relating to your ministry rather than trying to involve yourself in politics. What do you think? You think people are being fair to him?
Yeah. When Bakary was appointed, being a youth man, I was also very happy, and I wish him luck. I can remember on that particular day somebody called me and he was trying to sound my opinion. Then I told him, I told him there are two things here. What Bakary is going to do there and what is Bakary appointed to do. These are two different things. Bakary can have had the option to go there and try to fix the problems of the youth. But that was his choice. That was left to him. That's his choice. But I know he was appointed to do what he's doing today. That is to try to get youths for the NPP.
How do you back those claims?
Yeah, I know. Because there is a huge, we can all see the disconnection between the youths and NPP is not popular among Gambian youths. You can take a test, you roam around the streets and ask people, and you will get answers. We do these things almost every day. So then this is one of the reasons. So there are two options here. What he is coming to do, it was left to him. How he's going to sell himself to the people, to the youths themselves. Because things are not going to stop here. Like it or not, 2021 NPP is going out. So he's got a long career to go. So it is his choice. But what he was brought to do by the regime is to come and campaign for them. So if he goes out there, starting doing politics here and there, it doesn't bother me much, because it's not surprising me, because I know that was what he was brought for. So I would have also been, I'm not saying he shouldn't join them in here and there or so whatsoever. I'm not trying to claim that. But okay, if I were in his shoes, I will make sure that Gambian youth will see that I have contributed immensely, do you see, in changing the policies that governs us as youth. So I'll be concentrating more in developing the lives, things around youth, much more than wasting my time about a lot of things. There are other people that can help and support when it comes to political rallies and all that. I'm not saying he shouldn't be going, but I can say I would have given more preference, to youth activities, youth development, and see that youths are represented almost all walks of life.
Well, the people of Nyamina might say he is, because he's actually promised to build a stadium in Nyamina.
Yeah, Nyamina, look, there are so many promises in Nyamina. In fact, I have just heard about the promise of electrifying the whole country within 13 months before end of 2021, which is, everybody knows that it's not true, it's never going to happen. So, there's so many kind of promises in Nyamina. But I can tell you, fulfilling is another thing. So he had that option. I wish him well in his endeavors whatsoever, yeah.
And you're saying, come 2021, whether we like it or not, we know NPP is going out.
That's a done deal.
What's your response to that?
Yeah, that's his wish. I really have to respect his opinion, because he cannot sit here as PRO and say, we are not going to win next election. So I expected this kind of rhetoric from him as our opponents. But anyway, I wish him good of luck. But I know what we are contemplating now is about their deposit, not about winning. Not this election coming, not the next election. Because we have been saying Mama is slicing. This support base is really slicing. It's like slicing in a big time. A lot of his heavyweights jump in this. Day in, day out. That's an empirical fact. That's not like assumption or something like that. It's a dead broad. Like you will see even the National Assembly members shifting allegiance to NPP. That is the hard fact.
Which of the national?
That's what the Salif Jao just make. And Keba Jello is in the verge of coming. And Salif Jao already declared. Keba Jao made his point, but they say no, he spoke with. But now, my one point of observation here: if he is part and parcel of GDC, why not he join the crusade before he joined the campaign team of NPP, campaigning for Biram Sow? Why not he campaign for the GDC sponsor candidate?
If I may come in there, about what he said, that what I'm saying is quite different. They take politics as game. For us, things we do, I can tell you are facts. The reason I tell you they're going to lose 2021, these are coming, some of it are even coming from them. You just have to listen to the lines. We have seen, was it yesterday or so, that the president even contemplated going on a coalition. It is a ruling government that's thinking about a possibility to go in a coalition. I think that should have come up from the opposition because they don't have any strong grips. They know. Secondly, the struggle that they are going through only in Yemen, I'm telling you, the struggle, not sleeping day and night, also tells you another thing. We have heard, do you see, Ahmadba say they're not going to sit down and wait for seeing what used to happen to APRC, that people will come and tell them that the ground is level, and the ground is not level. So these are coming from them and officials of them. So they are so worried that they cannot even hide it. They come in, even the president in public. So I'm not fabricating those. You go back to 2016, when they were even backed by 7 parties, plus some other independent candidates. They cannot even get 50%. You move from there, you go to local government election. In all of the elections, they were going down, draining down. And everybody knows UDP was so significant in that volume, whatever they got, being it presidential, being it local government, all that. And GDC today is not there. So these are facts. Do you see? I'm not fabricating anything. So what I'm telling you is you just go by the lines. And you know, they themselves, because these are coming from them, that they are worried about the outcome of next election. And that's why they're even contemplating for coalition and all that. So it was supposed to be the opposition that would talk about coalition now. Then we know, obviously, these people maybe are in trouble or whatever. But if it is coming from the group, the government, let's take a break. Coming from government at this time, we are not even yet there.
You know what's interesting? Because now the people that seem to be desperate, especially from the NPP, they are saying that the 2 parties that are desperate are the UDP and the GDC, and that's why the UDP is deciding to actually back you in Yemen. How do you respond to this before I actually even get into the things that Sidinjai has said and stuff?
Because that's actually not true. UDP is backing GDC in that seat. Now, let's take... And
the PRO has made it categorically clearly that they're doing it because they're trying to mourn and to show respect to the PRO.
So no matter whatever difference we may have with the UDP, even with that intention, I think as a Gambian, you should be able to appreciate it. There is a lost soul, was one of us, was voted by the people of Nyamina, sent to the house. It is our constitution that's bringing us back to this situation. In other countries, it would not even have gone like that again. So therefore, at least you respect that intention that UDP has. You at least respect it for humanity, for that kind of reason. Do you see? So, you know, and you know, this is it. So one thing also that scares them so much. That scares them so much. You see, when you assume yourself, when you are the captain, and you realize, okay, there are other forces. These are 2 different forces, and each of these forces is stronger than you are. Do you say? Each on soul on their own, stronger than you are. You'll be worried. Do you say? So this is what actually is happening. We really appreciate that from the UDP. We really appreciate it. If UDP had gone into election with us there, it would not give, you know, much benefit. And why would even somebody expect that the opposition today would be fighting one another? That would give them due. No. They should be ready to face us. We are opposition. And what we want is to get to their seat. So they are our problem. UDP is not our problem. UDP wants what we want. And they have it, not UDP. So they can never try and make UDP to be GDC's problem. It's never going to happen. What we want is in their hands. So they are our problem. So they got to understand that.
Esa, are you threatened by the fact that UDP has decided to back the GDC?
Really, not at all. You know, there's a lot of lessons that we've learned from that so-called alliances. Because I once heard from UDP number 2, deputy party leader, saying like, for them, they are not even thinking, and they are not going to make any alliance with any of the political parties in this country. They're going to face all the elections in their own, only in the individual party, and they're not going to allow any bargain or any alliance, sort of alliance with any other party. Now, if I'm seeing them, forming an alliance with GDC or bargain GDC, and they're bringing on a lot of excuses, saying yes because of somebody who has been mourning, something like that.
You think there's more to it?
No, let me bring you to at least some years ago when UDP National Assembly members lost their life. 3 of them lost their life in a fatal car accident. All right. So, but they don't come up with such a thing. They say people need to mourn for this without contesting. No. I'm not buying that idea. Fine. I have no problem with UDP alliance collating or forming an alliance with GDC. That is their right. They can do that. And politics is very dynamic. No permanent friend, no permanent enemy. Only permanent interest. That is the philosophy that we all learn from the political field. All right. Now, when they see that they cannot make it alone, GDC feel that they cannot make it alone because of the mightiness of the mighty NPP and how stronger we are.
So wait, you're saying
they can never make it alone. They went around and just look for somebody who will come and japale them, something like that.
No, hold on, no.
No. UDP also knows that if they face this ground or this election, they will be humiliated, they will be exposed. There's a lot of kind of a cover-up here. If you are not tested at the national election, like presidential election, you don't want to be embarrassed. So they don't want to embarrass themselves. That's why they want to start. No. We will back Muammar Kandeh. We will back this and this. Because they know if they participated in this election, that will show the whole world or the whole governments that these people are only talking. They have no grip. They lost all their grip. And Muammar Kandeh also knows that. That's why they are just listening to the goodwill, so-called goodwill gesture from the other party, UDP. Yes, we come. Because, why? They know. They don't understand and the power that the NPP is enjoying. He's saying that something like president is like saying coalition. No, we make it categorically clear. We are not forming any coalition with any political party. The journalist asked him, either you are thinking of, or you can, or you will. That's like, it's not about the future tense. Okay? President made it very clear. Yes, politics is like anything is possible. So if somebody want to, come to me and make alliances with me, we cannot just close our door. We will only tell, okay, this is our policy, this is our program. When we are fit in the equation, then you come in. But he's not saying that we are thinking along that line. We are not walking along that line, in fact. That's not our wish. I make this very clear to many of my platforms, that NPP is not even thinking along that line. We are thinking about how are we going to make percentage, how many percentage are we going to score? Because our work or our intention is like to make them lose their deposits. Not even to win the subsequent elections. No, to make them lose that. Because if they regain their deposit, that means that's a sign of failure for us. So we are not working along that line. He is saying that governments need to be aware or something like that, to political perception. Fine, we've seen. When we visited Nyamina, some of them told me, one of the councillors told me, Mama asked him to go around to many villages. I am promising them that he is going to bring borehole, 5 borehole. He said until today, he's seen nothing. Some of the villages called Nanaba village. When we went there, they said, okay, Mama asked, I promised them to bring them solar panel of their health center. Huh? He said, until today, they never see it. We said, well, those are the problem. So one of our boy just get up and said, I'm going to provide you a solar panel. So if they see such things happening, they think that it is from the government cover. They are displaying our money. No. We have this party. Let me tell you the historical background of this party. It's a grassroots-based political party. This party is not initiated from the top brass level. All right. This party is initiated from the grassroots people, and they own the party. They take the ownership of the party. That's why they will not hesitate to put in their money or to put in their resources to do whatever it takes to take this party to another level.
So you claim the UDP is scared because they know if they contest, they're not going to win. And then you think the GDC
cannot face us alone.
Cannot face you.
Yes, they have to look at somebody who will.
And yet you get the backing of parties who do not even have like a certain percentage to stand anywhere in the Gambia. You have the backing of the GPDP, you have the backing of the NRP. Why didn't you go alone?
That's what I'm saying. We never asked for any of them. Even our political.
You could have said, we can do this alone.
Let me come. Even our political rallies. Ahmad Bai is not talking like he is there representing NRP. He's not talking like that. We are not receiving any delegation from NRP like they do. We are expecting delegation from UDP. Hey, we are the Pakaliba Salowa, No. We are not expecting any delegation from GPDP. If GPDP or GAP leader join us, say, okay, I deem it fitting to come and just show my appreciation to NPP and join you people in a campaign trail and also share a word, that's his constitutional right. We cannot say, no, don't come here. You have a name and say, when somebody comes to your house, I heard that you have a name and say, I also come to join you, give you gas. Are you going to drag him out? You can, that's against our norms. We cannot do that. So they come to show solidarity. They come to show us that they appreciate the NPP. They appreciate our candidate. They want us to have this seat. They came in and joined us without calling them. We never call. That's why we never see any of the high-powered delegation. He said that only yesterday or before yesterday they received UDP National Assembly members. We are there since the nomination. You've seen the delegation who attended the nomination. From there, we see at the beginning of their campaign, there's a set of people from UDP National Assembly membership and some other officials who joined them there. So now, if they want to say that they want to downplay the role that UDP is very different with that of NPP, NRP and that of GPDP, because we never even welcome any of their delegations. We only individual. Ahmad Ba, we see Ahmad Ba, or we see Henry Gomez, or we see Gab Leader Musa Bakili.
The delegation here doesn't matter, but the fact that the party is throwing its weight behind the NPP is what we are talking about. Since you were saying that the UDP is scared, that is why they are, you call it a cover-up between this whole thing that is going on. But yet still you have parties backing you.
Have you seen any of the NRP flyers or color or flags in our campaign ground?
It's the vote that matters.
No, that's what I'm saying. But we've seen UDP results in their, even vehicles, they put their flags in front of their vehicles in their campaign trail. We see that even in the nomination ground, they cannot even hide their flag. They came with their flag openly displayed. So if at any time I'm in Yamina and I'm a diver of UDP, then I will come and say, my flag is this, I'm going to vote for my flag. That's what they are doing basically. But our case is very different. Individual come in and jump in and say, okay, I heard that you have this, I want to come in and make sure you have this seat to show, solidarity. That's normal. Without displaying his flag, without displaying his party manifesto, his logo, his nothing. No. We are not interested in that thing. It's only strictly NPP. So anybody who is coming to us, we are coming to our own accord. We don't force anybody to come. And we are not even acknowledging the presence of any other party apart from NPP party. Individual can come.
That hurts.
No, we are not acknowledging it. Because you can never hear from any of our speakers will say, NRP also is here. GPDP also is here. You can never hear that. But they will say UDP is here, the delegation is here, this and that. So that, these people, but we all know that Saturday is only at the corner. By now, the signs and symptoms will be put to display to know that who win the
He said the signs and symptoms will be out on Saturday. Amade, I want to come to you because there is seems like to be a war of words going on between the two parties. And just today, Sidinjai said that Mama Kande has handed the GDC to the UDP. What is your response to that?
My response is, you see again how inconsistent NPP are. Just now, Alhamdulillah, my brother just told you that is a goodwill from UDP. He also called it alliance. Just now on this platform from NPP, Sirinjai there is calling what GDC being surrendered. So which way are we going? It's all coming from the same party. Do you see? So that also tells you what Sirinjai says has no ground. It was just somebody, it's the usual CD. Let us remember, it is this CD who stood in front of this country facing everybody and said Barrow will not be president in this country. We have to be honest as people, as Gambians. It was the very same CD. It's the same CD. Nothing changed in him. It's the same CD. When women were carrying their kids on their back, crossing Banjul Bara, when Gambians were stranded at the borders, when Gambians were stranded in Dakar, in Kalab, everywhere, when Gambians were strangers in their own country, all because of CD, who stood in front in this country, everybody looking at him and said, Arabara will not be president here. So is the same CD talking about this? Did he even witness where GDC and UDP sit down and had an argument also? GDC didn't hide what happened. I just now boldly, like he said, again for the record, nobody's downplaying what UDP is, how UDP is supporting us. UDP, they are there on the ground. UDP is not hiding it. And they said it, like their PRO did. I just also told you, we appreciated it, 100%, the support that they're giving us there. It's appreciated. So therefore, it is the same CD. You see, to me, CD is just somebody that always talk. Look at it this way. Gambians need to be very careful. I was reading that piece, and what he said, that GDC have been surrendered to UDP. Do you see it? Now, if you read that part, you see what they are trying to insinuate. They're insinuating GDC, UDP, a violent party. If you read it very well, you can see that's what they're trying to say. The problem that they have is Gambians need to wake up, because where they are dragging us is in the right place. We just had a few weeks ago in the State House. Do you see? One of them, a minister, calling on a tribe to rally behind them. And the only reason CD is saying this again is because of the same notion, no different. That the people of Nyamina should leave Mama Kande because Mama Kande has an affiliation with UDP. This is the fact. And it is unfortunate that things like this would come from people that should guide us as a nation. Whether we like it or not, we are behind looking on what they are doing, whether it's in the right order or not. But they are the drivers, like they call themselves. So they have to make sure that they drive the bus correctly, which is not happening. So it's unfortunate. So this is just the same city that spoke a long time ago and caused Gambian a lot of things. So he's just talking again.
And if you go beyond the headline, let's take a look a little deeper. He's saying that both of these parties, the GDC and the UDP, are basically irrelevant and they have nothing to offer to the Gambian people. I mean, how do you feel about that? Coming from someone that everyone knows and coming from someone representing a party that's just newly established, how do you feel about those, sentiments?
Like I told you, I don't feel insulted because he stood here again and said Anno Barrow had nothing to offer to Gambians. So now he's saying it while standing back beside Anno Barrow and his party. So that's the person. You have to understand who's talking. Somebody would have said that and I would be very worried. Do you see? But the person that is talking is what you see. That's one, that's very important. Secondly, they themselves, they know. In fact, in Nyamina, like my brother had just spoken about, when did they take boreholes to Nyamina? Is it not when elections are about to come? No, we took boreholes there long since. Well, when we are not even voted for president, we took things there. Do you see? He also talked about somebody who said we promised them. Everybody knows in this country. Everybody in this country knows that GDC had been there for the Gambians. More than 100 villages have access to clean drinking water because of the GDC. Everybody knows. He himself knows. Do you see? So even if there was a little truth in that, that is it. When we're doing our political trails, campaign trails and all that, we sometimes we're visiting to sites. Sometimes we get to certain place. They tell us their problems. If we are going to do something, we can tell we're going to do something. We're going to do something. That's how it works. If at all we have been doing like they did, can my brother tell us a borehole dug by NPP in this country, a project done by NPP? There's a difference here. That was something that I said some time ago when I said that GDC is a party that's doing what none has been doing. Somebody made mention of, well, how about PPP? I said, did PPP planted anything here before they became government? We all know. Like example now, those that are going to Nyamina, some of them are using government resources to be there. Do you see? Some of them are driving cars bought by us, fueled by us to go there. Like you also have talk about. We have seen when you ask about the chiefs being called at the governor's office, what I was expecting is say that's not true, it never happened. But it happened. When did it happen? When we were getting into elections. That's meddling in the electoral process. It's equal to that. So, you see, what scares them the most is, whether they like it or not, GDC is going to shame them in these elections. And that is sending a strong signal to them for the 2021 elections. And which is going to be a reality. Not only even a signal, it's going to be a reality. They will feel it. I'm telling you, they will feel it.
Thank you very much, Amadou. Now, Esa, before we go, what message do you have for the Gambian people and the supporters of NPP in particular?
Thank you very much. That the solution is NPP. NPP is a grassroots-based political party that comes to being to make sure to address the problems of the Gambians. And it's a party that also want to change the narrative. In which sense? It's not about a family entity. It's not about a regional-based party. It's not about a tribal party.
Do we have parties that are
Yeah, what I'm saying, yeah, we've seen like when you come to we all know Gambia here. When you just name some parties, all people, our thinking capacity is lost to a particular tribe. Huh? That is hard. That's true. So, but NPP is like a very neutral, a very different political party. All tribes have their equal share and equal representation. Kids, old people, women, men. That's why one of our candidates is woman. It's a woman in Jokadu. All right? We cannot just have two male candidates. That's why we asked one of our contended candidates there to withdraw. Because we say we cannot even go for primary between you and a woman.
So you are trying to empower the
women. Good. That's the stance and syndrome that we wanted to set across. This party is the solution. We are the party who aim to make sure we pacify all acrimonies between the politicians, political parties, the grassroots support. Because if you feel alienated or you feel you are not part of the show, then you will feel embarrassed or you feel that let me just also join here because this is where I am represented. But if you know that I'm part and parcel of here, obviously that will make you calm, make you cool, and our decision making. It's not started from the higher echelons of the party. No, at the grassroots. Even at the Nyamena by-election. Those who went there to oversee the process of selection, the advice that they have is let them leave Nyamena people to do their show. They can only serve there as an observance, sit and watch them, leave them to do their primary process until and unless that they bring the candidate of their choice. You cannot dictate, you cannot sit at the State House or at anywhere in your bureau and call and say, we nominated Sajo for our candidate for this position, this final period. Either you like it or not. No, we are not that kind of party. We give chances to grassroots people because the party is owned by them. And I want to call on all patriotic Gambians, anybody residing or living in this country, to know that NPP is the only solution for our problems. All those other political parties that they are hearing, talking, yes, they are here just to make the thing, to make some kind of a fanfare to the electoral process, but they cannot win nothing at the end of the day.
Be careful, they've been here for a very long time. You're just coming
What did they achieve? Because when it comes to UDP, let me just say, UDP is an old party. What did they achieve? Their biggest achievement was to have 7 National Assembly members. The time that they have 31 seats at the parliament is because the president of Barrow. Let them test now. Why can't they contest again? If they should have contested and say, okay, because of now we have our rival, our main rival political party who is contesting, let us show him that we have more strength than you. We are contesting. And we saw the whole world that yes, UDP still maintain their status quo. But hence they cannot do that. They are only there by mouth. You can have mouth. You can talk. You can be a social media or Facebook giant or media or radio station or WhatsApp group. But actually it's very different from what is happening in the ground. Come on Saturday. Combination of these two parties or more, they will lose their deposit, I promise you.
What's your final words to the Gambian people and the supporters of the GDC before I let you go?
Yes, I am telling supporters of GDC that I'm telling you that Nyamina remains what it has always been, and I'm telling them like we are going to maintain what we always have been. That is, we are a party that comes to better the lives of Gambians. That we believe whatever we have, whatever we can, that what we must do, and we must do for Gambians. And then secondly, Gambians must open up, must wake up. We are going into elections. In fact, something more important than this, because 2021 elections, Gambians must open up. And we have to stop people from coming and believing that our votes, they can buy our votes for money. Or by giving us promises for places here and there or so. That got to change. And it is time for Gambians to start holding politicians to account for their words. They cannot tell you something today and tomorrow they come the other way around. And then they have to be listening to people when they talk. Let Gambians stop just watching us and say, oh, he talked well or so. Let them listen to what we say. Just like my brother just hinted out. If I should say, just sit down assuming that Sajo's heart is a dark one, probably I may be the person with the dark heart. Do you see? So if you can sit down and assume party A, B, C, or D are tribal, or people, when they talk about people go to tribal or so, then you think about yourself first, because you are the one insinuating it. Because if you yourself have changed, make that transformation within yourself, probably people will also take you the way you take them. And then we will not be talking about these issues no more. So Gambians, it is time. It is time for Gambians to open up. It's time for Gambians to wake up. If they have, look, NPP made, this government made promises, they made pledges. That was why we brought them in. One of it, most key, was they will be serving us for 3 years and leave. They will build a foundation. They have failed in that. They've talked about the Janneh Commission. At the end of the day, we all have seen that what was the objective? Who even knows? Where is it now? So many people now, the TRC is good. So many people are worried about it. What would be the outcome? We have seen Jammeh's asset being sold. Where is the money? People talk about corruption here and there every day. So they have made a series of promises. What have been delivered? We ask that question, where is it? So you made an accord with us, with the Gambian people. Because what happened was an accord. You went round, you talked to Gambian, you told them, Jammeh had his policies. And Jammeh went round and said, if you should bring me again, this is what I'm going to do. GDC, the same thing. We said, if you bring us, this is what we're going to do. They made their pledges. Vote us in, this is what we're going to do. But promises they made, they have failed. So then why would Gambian listen to them again in 2021? So we have to open up, we have to be reasonable to listen to whatever we are saying and hold us accountable for whatever we say as politicians. Thank you. Thank you very much, Amadou Ka, and of course, thank you very much, Esa Drama. I appreciate you gentlemen coming through to the Dampha, for coming through to the Fatu Network News Review. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, that will be it for News Review today. Do join us tomorrow if you can. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.